Hello everybody and welcome to this video where we're now going to take a look at actually sculpting on our model here. So as we've seen in the previous video when I was just doing some demonstration, that we can left click and drag, and this will create some information in our model. So in this particular case we are adding information, and this is controlled by this Z add up here. So if we turn this off, we're not actually going to paint anything in here. We can go ahead and choose ZSub, and this will subtract parts of our model. So I'm just going to undo both of them. Okay, and so underneath that we have the intensity. So this is how strong how strong it's going to be added. So in this particular case, so we got this is on subtract side. So if we increase this, we are making subtraction bits very small that we can hardly see it. So in this particular case we can see it a little bit here. This goes with the Z add, so the less or the smaller this value, the greater the less intensity is, and the higher this value, the greater the intensity is. So let's just go ahead and undo all of them. Okay. Now alternatively we can also right click, and if we right click we're going to get access to the size of the brush here. So we've got this draw size. So this is the overall size. So if we were to paint a larger area, we could do that. Let's bring this back down. The next thing we have is this focal. So this focal really deals with the inner and outer radius, which is more or less like a fall off. So if we decrease this, you can see that we'll now have this nice sharp edge to our sculpting, and if we increase this all the way up, we're gonna have this nice smooth transition here. So let's just bring this back down and bring this up. Something along these lines. There we go. And again, we also have the intensity right here, so we can increase and decrease the intensity inside this right click menu. There we go. Now we can, if we like, press the Alt key, and this will subtract for us, so we don't have to keep clicking this Z add or this Z subtract. We can just press the Alt key, and as we do that, if I press the Alt key, you can see that where the brush is, we can see this little minus sign. So that's just a good indication that we are going to be subtracting. Okay, and these same principles apply. So if we decrease the intensity and subtract, so let's just make this a little bit more visible. We can see that that's actually working here. Let's undo that. Okay. Now the last thing in terms of sculpting that we can look at for the brushes at the moment is the ability to smooth. So say we go ahead and we create, let's increase our intensity. Let's do something like, something like this. And we want to smooth this off. What we can do is we can hold the shift key, and now our brush turns blue, and this indicates that we are now smoothing. So when we click where we just sculpted, we can now smooth that out. So a combination of these is that we can subtract like this, and then we can go ahead and smooth our model back out, and we can go ahead and increase the size here. And again, if we increase this intensity, then the smoothness is going to be much more stronger. Okay, and we can, if we like, so we can, if we want to, go ahead and use symmetry here. Okay, so what I mean by symmetry is that if I am painting like this, we can see that we're only applying this to one side of the model. Now we can go ahead and press the X key, and now you can see that we have this brush that appears on both sides. And so if we sculpt like this, we can see that this is being applied on both sides of the meshes here. So let's see, we can do something like this, and we can smooth it on either side, and that will reflect on each side here. Okay, now that doesn't all just apply for the X. You know, we can do this in the Y, for instance. So if we press the Y key, then we'll get this applying to the other side. So if we look around, let's just double check this applied properly. Okay, let's go to the to the transform, and as you can see, as I press the X, certain options become available. So transform, and what we can do is we can turn on these. We can turn on these other ones. So now you can see that we're painting in multiple angles of this model. That may not appear up here because, as we can see, as we are moving around, this is not a perfectly symmetrical shape in terms of the XYZ axis. But if we did something like this, then hopefully we can see that that detail is being added. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn all these back off. And that is the very basics of the sculpting tools. Now, in the later videos, we will discuss about things like alphas and using alphas in our sculpting. But until then, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.